Hey, hey, how we doing? Get that cussing out before you unmute. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
God damn it. You know, I'm just going to say this real quick. I'm surprised you guys were not watching because when I did that episode of Nick Files earlier today, when I did the intro, I did the intro for my show, and when we came on, somehow I was muted myself, and still somehow I did not realize. Chris had to point that out. My own damn show, I was muted.
Don't doubt it.
Wow. I have no words for that.
I should have. Yeah, I kind of had a confession.
I do, but I won't.
That might be the better thing, Adrian.
Yeah, well, I will say this: if you were on, I know if you were backstage, I know for a fact you would have put that comment up.
Well, I did come in backstage yesterday, and that was because you had shown a video, and then all of a sudden it was just a black screen.
That was the presentation. That's why.
Yeah,
And then after, yeah, I saw you message them, but it was like then right afterwards when you started seeing words, it was like that was the PowerPoint.
yeah. Well, nobody had responded back to that message of mine, so I messaged Chris. I was like, "Hey," and then he
Well,
explained to me what you were doing.
Well, I couldn't because I had the slideshow on the full screen. Like I said, when comments show up, I can't see them when I'm doing that. When I'm doing them, unfortunately.
So while we're before we get started talking into really heavy stuff, I'm going to see if I can do this because it's not like okay, maybe it'll let me.
Don't kick yourself out,
That's right.
but don't end live.
Yeah, oh
It's
God. I already
no,
did that once on Don's show.
no,
I already did that once on Don's show, and I learned my lesson.
no. It won't. It's okay. It won't let me share from the other screen.
Oh, yeah, because Nick has done that. Don has done that. Scott,
Oh yeah, Don did that one time.
I bet.
he did that on the Stephen King special.
That's right. That's right.
And you, I think, did that on Christmas,
No, I didn't do that. I did that on Don's show.
or was it Don's show?
Yeah, it was when I was coming back from Wisconsin. I was using the phone, and I accidentally Joe was on too, and I accidentally ended the show because I was trying to log out.
Well, wait. I figured it out. I think we're gonna find out.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy! Everybody stand back.
Right?
Yeah, there's a hurricane
Right.
coming.
Everybody's 18 and over, right? Just in case there's some crazy shit come up on here. Yeah, okay. Thought so. All right. Let me see if it'll let me.
I was actually able
There we
to do. Okay.
Did it work?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So this is on Zach's Community Pay It Forward. We have a tarot reader now that's joined the program. I'm excited.
Oh,
I got
awesome.
to talk to her. Huh?
That's awesome.
It is. It is. I got to talk to her. She's amazing. I love her. Wednesday at 7 Eastern on the Community Impact page, she's going to do free readings. And we're going to have her on the show as well one week. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah, this is a little bit about her. It's on our Facebook page, on Community Pay It Forward page. And, hey, I did it without screwing anybody up, except for that fourth thing that's there now. We got to get rid of. Okay.
You'd be
Yeah,
surprised
so-
how many people get taken by that.
Yeah.
I
So,
was trying to figure out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so what we're going to do, actually, if you go to your Play Store now, not Apple, Nick, you can't get it yet, but Community Pay It Forward now has an app. It went live today. It's not being beta tested. As soon as we pay for Apple, because that's why I hate Apple, is because it's nothing but everything's got to be paid. Hate that shit. But as soon as we pay for that, it's going to be on the Apple app as well. So yeah, and you can, once you see her, if you get to join Wednesday, if you like her stuff, like her readings, you can get to her from our page. And she's a giving partner, so some of the proceeds go to help all the people that ask us for help. She gives that. So pretty awesome.
I'm downloading it right now. I actually tried beta testing with that, but for whatever reason, it would not work for me.
Now
We did have some issues, and it did have to be worked and reworked.
is
Yeah.
this
It,
now is
'Cause
this
I was
something that
emailing back and forth with the guy that was doing it. Uh, and finally, I was like, it's not going to work. Just go ahead and take me off. Because
Yeah.
for whatever reason, nothing on my end was working.
Well, let's hope the app itself does.
now is this? I know you said it's not available for Apple yet, but now is this something that could also be downloaded like on computers or anything like that, like a laptop or anything like that?
Yep. If you have the
Okay,
Play
because
Store,
I have Windows on with my laptop and desktop too, so that's why I wanted to ask.
I would think so. If you go to apps, like apps you can purchase, I think it also gives you the Play Store, which this is not a purchase app. It's free.
What's the app called again?
Community Pay It Forward.
Okay, because I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah, and that's where you can, if you end up buying something from one of the people on there, it's got a list of all the things that the people that are partnered with us, like let's say you're shopping for a certain thing, look in there and see if they're selling it. If you buy from them, they give a proceed of that to the people that we help. So it's pretty cool.
I'm in.
Yep, perfect.
Yet another app to have on my phone. I've
Yep.
actually got a bunch of apps on here that I really don't need. I have a CVS app, Kroger app. I don't really
Hmm.
need those.
I have those too.
Yeah.
Not CVS. I don't deal with CVS just because my pharmacy is Safeway.
Well,
Okay,
I
for
have to
some,
have CVS. That's where I got to get my prescriptions because with the Medicaid HIP program that I'm on, Walgreens does not accept it. They told me that CVS does, and luckily CVS is only a block away.
Yeah, yeah. CVS. That's where we would go if I was on a bunch of medications because that's the one through our insurance, is my insurance as well. But
Yeah.
his Medicare goes through Safeway, so we're good. No, you're not touching my food. Get away from my food,
so
ghost.
I tried looking for it, but for some reason whatsoever, I can't find it. Is there a way you could send it to me, Jeremy, so that way I have it in some way, shape, or form, so I could download it?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to do that. Just did you type in the full thing? Community pay it forward.
Yeah, I did. I went on to the Microsoft Store, and that's exactly what I did. Community pay
Not
forward.
Microsoft Store, Play Store.
Wait, which? I'm sorry, which store?
Play Store.
Play
Play
Store,
Store. Play Store. Okay.
not
Yeah.
Microsoft Store. Two different things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's what I was looking up.
So while he's digging into that, let's get into the aforementioned heavy stuff.
Yes.
So, as everybody knows, today is the 24th anniversary of 9/11. Um, and I gotta say, it's hard to believe that it's been 24 years already.
It
Yep.
is.
Uh, I'm really sorry. I just got to say. Okay, so Adrian, guys, I did find it,
Okay.
and I'm trying to install it, but unfortunately, this pop-up comes up saying the Google account is not yet associated with the device. Please access the Play Store app. on your device before installing apps.
That's gonna have to be on a phone until we get it on
Yeah,
Apple. Okay.
so it does. So I guess that means the one thing for sure is that regardless, especially since it's an Apple iPhone, that I'm not going to be able to download it anytime soon until it is associated.
It won't be long.
Yeah, yeah.
So 9/11. I'll ask you guys this question, and everybody in the audience. I know we got more people in the audience than we have commented, at least on my end.
We got 10 watching.
Huh?
We got 10 watching right now.
Yeah, I only see 2 people commenting.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Adrian, where were you when the first plane hit?
I was working. I was at a hospital. I was head cook in the kitchen and had the radio going because I had my country going. We'd dance around the kitchen and we heard it, but it was like, yeah, okay, plane crashed. None of that sunk in. None of it. And then they said it hit the Sears Tower. Still didn't sink.
No, it was World Trade Center. Sears
World Trade Center.
Towers, World Sears Towers here in Chicago.
Right. So I'm like, yeah, okay. And I associated it with the Sears Tower at that point too. I was 20 something. Anyway. So I was like, yeah, okay. I had the boat hooked up, ready to go to the lake. So I was not at all thinking about this. And then they started talking about emergency and terrorists. And I'm like, this ain't, no. And it's so far away. You're thinking it's so far away that it will not impact me anyway. Until the next day when they... Oh, please do. So anyway...
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I was kind of... I know we're not supposed to pay it. So that actually sounded pretty funny.
No, please do. And when you do, it will stop procreation from idiots like that. So...
Anyways.
Yeah, so, it was not until maybe 3 or 4 days later that it sank in that it was as bad as it really was and that it was like that much death. But at 20-some years old, Nick, you understand that. Jeremy, you may have been a little more advanced at that point, but Jeremy,
I was 21 when this happened.
Yeah. So, like, Nick, do you remember when it happened to you, where you were, what happened, and how long did it take to sink in that this was really a huge event?
So, I'm sorry, there's just like other comments. So at that time, for me, I was only about like 7 or 8 years old. So I was still in elementary school at that time, and I had to have been at least either first grade, second grade, around that. And I do recall, not just me, because obviously, again, being in school, I think a lot of the other kids were like this too. We weren't.
Okay, I think it's time to.
I'm already on it.
Yeah.
This is the wrong show for this, wrong day for this.
Yeah. But anyways, just like we weren't completely aware of what was happening in New York City at that time. All I do recall was, just being like any kid, we went to school, it was just like a typical day. And then after that, probably about halfway into the school day, probably around like 11 or 12 o'clock, we get the announcement on the speaker, and they just simply say, attention everyone, we're going to call it a day early. All the kids that are here, send the kids off. We're going to call things early. Send everybody home. And of course, obviously, just like any kids, of course, we're excited. We're like, awesome. We're getting a half day. We get to go home early. and just
Right.
enjoy the rest, because it was a nice day out too, just like it was out in New York. But again, we weren't aware of the reason why. I mean, what was going on. Now, looking back, obviously they weren't necessarily going into detail. They were just saying, "Yeah, we're just going to take we're just going to take a half day." They obviously would have never told us that there was a
Yeah.
terrorist attack.
Yeah,
Because,
because that's up to the parents to explain what really happened.
well, not only that, especially for us as young as we were, like the second grade and below, we wouldn't have understood what a terrorist attack meant. Now the older,
No, and that's why it's
yeah,
up to the parents.
now the older kids, obviously the third to fifth grade groups, they would understand, but they obviously were not going to tell them, because regardless of the fact, they weren't going to say anything, because even if we did know what that meant, they would have caused a panic within us. So
Um,
that's
you
why
know,
that's why they wanted to make it almost just like just a half day at school. And unfortunately, because again, being a kid at that time, and also again because my autism, which was a lot more, if you know what I mean. I was
pronounced.
Yeah, it was. I was also kind of a lot more oblivious even when I
Right.
got home, because like I wanted to watch cartoons and my favorite shows and stuff like that. It wasn't probably till about maybe a day, 2 days afterwards that I finally understood exactly what was going on.
That people died. Well,
That
I'm not going to say it's your autism. I think it was your age,
it was
simply
my
because
age too. Yeah,
I remember around that age was when the teachers went up in the shuttle and it exploded live while we were all watching it. But none of that sunk in that that's what really happened. I mean, none of it sunk in.
yeah. For
At
me, like I
At
said,
that age, it's hard to process what you're really seeing.
Mhm.
well, and just like because I was still a very young kid at that time, it was we started out the day just pretty much as usual. We just thought it was just a normal school day like for anybody else, and we just thought that at that time we just thought that the staff was just being very nice and letting us off early to go
Yes.
home from school. But like I said, it wasn't until I really understood
Right.
the severity of the situation and
And I'm
realized,
not
like you said,
sure.
well, and realizing again too that people died, and after seeing that footage, it was definitely a horrifying realization of what was going on.
It really, and I hate to say that, but reality is reality. I never watched news, never paid attention to it. I live my life in my own little world of let's go to the lake, let's go fishing, let's go do this, let's go party, let's go. The news, the outside world, outside of my little world, didn't exist. Yeah, I didn't care, and it it didn't really hit home until I started hearing the testimonies of the firefighters, of the families, and hearing the stories of what they had been through, what they heard, what they saw, family members that they could never see again. That's when it really made
Now,
sense.
I also kind of because it's coming back to me now. There might have also been again yet another additional reason why I wasn't aware of what was happening, because again, at 7, 8 years old, my parents obviously, you're not really supposed to be looking at stuff like that, especially when it's live. So
Right.
you also had those typical times where my parents would say to us, say, "Oh, don't worry about what's go watch your favorite cartoon or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Play with your toys, play video games, what do
yeah,
anything else. Just don't watch what." They didn't
yeah,
want us exposed to the horror of what was happening.
yeah, yeah. And that's a really fine line I've learned, because as a parent, you want to protect your child from the world for as long as you can. And I did the same thing with my daughter. Like, and I did it to an extreme where I think it may have hindered her growth because I did things like they would have those contests at school, who could sell the most, and if you sold all this, you got a prize, and things like that. And I knew that some of these people were doctors, lawyers, their parents were, knew everybody in town. I didn't. So I didn't even let her get into that because I did not want to see the disappointment. Well, that ended the day she got to watch her dog get run over
Oh my
while
God.
she was eating cereal. Watched it happen out the window. How it got out, I don't even know, but she was like 5. And she watched it happen. And I couldn't protect her. And that's when I realized I'm going to have to allow her to have her failures and be there when it happens, because they're going to happen. But, that's a fine line parents walk. What can your child actually deal with?
I think that's exactly kind of like how you described it. And another thing that I do recall, it wasn't until I found out several days later, and hey, Braxton, there he is, was that, again, I didn't hear about it, but 9/11 in this case kind of also affected, I mean, it affected the entire country, if not the world, but
It did.
to speak from the Chicago side, I had no idea that shortly after, once the second plane hit the second tower, shortly after that, here in Chicago, the Sears Tower was immediately evacuated because we feared that this was going to be the beginning of several attacks that was going to occur throughout the entire country, not just New York. So
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
had no idea what was going on.
No.
exactly. So for us, well, I mean, not for me because I didn't know, but for us Chicagoans, we really feared we were going to be next. We thought, okay, they're going to hit New York first. Chicago's going to be next. Who knows? Maybe Denver. I don't know. But they were truly scared. But the Sears Tower was evacuated that day. But but as far as memories of that, that's honestly as far as I could truly remember of what happened. But although I did recently come across something, you guys can actually see this on YouTube now. There was a guy who he did a tape recording, and it was him, not him, but strolling through all these different television channels, and you could see several of these channels were like on pause. They're saying like, this channel is not currently broadcasting due to the attacks at the World Trade Center.
Right. Yeah.
It was even eerie when,
Chris?
hey Chris, it was even more eerie just watching that because it brought back those memories. But also among one of the channels, this is kind of where it's a little unsettling for my part. When he was going through one of the channels, one of the channels he went through, and this was a channel that I grew up watching. Of course, the channel sucks today, but this was back when it was good. One of the channels he went through was Cartoon Network. That was kind of my main channel along with Nickelodeon. And those two channels were still running in spite of the disaster. And when he's going through it, even though it's very brief, it's unsettling to watch now all these years later, because that was one of the channels I was watching when I got home that day from school. And again, completely unaware of the danger that was happening. It's just like, it's just unsettling to look at when you watch that tape.
I remember I was working the night shift when this happened, so I was in bed when the whole thing happened. It
Where
was
were you working?
I was working at Kmart.
Okay.
Yeah, I was only 21 years old, so I didn't have like a real job. So I was just a stock boy at Kmart. Um, and we got off work at 6 o'clock, so I was in bed, slept through the whole thing. I woke up um, at 1 o'clock Eastern, but at that time we were still in that state where we were flip flopping between Eastern and Central because Indiana did not change the clocks.
Right.
So at that time it would have been 12 Central. Towers had already come down, and I get on my computer and I'm on these message boards, and I see these posts of prayers for New York and all of that stuff. I'm like, okay, what happened here? So I go into the kitchen, and my mom had the news on, and she didn't even have to say a word. I'm looking at this thing, and holy shit, what in the hell just happened here?
Yeah.
Then they showed clips every now and then of the second plane hitting, because I think it was a few days before they even realized there was a video out there of the first plane hitting,
Right.
and showed the towers falling. And I thought, wow. Um, and I had woken up early. Normally, I would have slept until about 4. And I had friends that live in New York City. Um, and at the time, I also had a cousin that lived there. If you guys had seen my post from early this morning, I talked about that. It took me a couple hours to get a hold of my friend that lived there, and finally she called me back. Um, and she was several blocks away, but right there. And
That I can't imagine. That has to be. I mean, we saw it on TV. That's a whole different story
yeah,
than being there. And like Braxton just said,
Yeah.
Braxton, it,
I wanted to share some.
you're cool with us. So I'm guessing this is appropriate to ask. Is your mother still living? But yeah, so to see that, to be anywhere around that, I can't imagine, because the reality would hit you much quicker than it did other people.
there's one video. It's like right there. Some guy had a camera. He was facing straight up at the towers. He was not even a block away when the second plane hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that
Uh,
video.
And how could we have known, that there was going to be more? Our
Well,
first thought
that's
was that was an accident.
yeah.
Well,
But that
yeah,
explains why there's very few videos of the first plane attack.
well, sure,
there's
that was an
only
accident.
2 known in existence.
Braxton, tell your mama I have so much respect for
Oh,
her,
that's right. What
because
Tom said.
that the pin, that is amazing. That is absolute pure love.
Look what Tom just said. Next day, my brother and other Chicago fire departments left for New York to assist the recovery.
Yep, all the good
Which
departments did.
There were
I
a
think I think pretty much just about a good majority of the cities, not just Chicago, came out to New York to assist, because this
Sure.
was, I don't even know how to even finish it. I mean, just something also just came up in my head, because, again, it was when we were in school. Even though we were excited that we were taking this half day from school, I do recall too that the teachers, the staff members that were there, as we're walking out of the school, yeah, we may have been just like any kids, like having an exciting, we're excited to have this day off. But I do recall seeing some of the staff members, they just had this kind of dull, kind of stone look on their face, like completely nothing with emotion on it. They're not as happy. They're not happy for us because we're taking this
Yeah.
day off. Looking back again, I knew it was clear the reason why they were not celebrating with us,
Right.
because of
Right.
what happened.
And
there
some of
was
them,
nobody that had a smiling face that day.
Well,
didn't
nobody
know.
did, but again, we were unaware. We didn't know
Right.
what was going on.
And that was good. They did their job. Some of them probably had family there. Some of them probably had friends there that they didn't know. They were ready for the kids to go home so that they could find out.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
Yeah. And of course, my own personal experience, I had nobody. My world was small. My world was very small. And that was okay. But let's look at our lifetime compared to, say, the generation before us, or 2 generations before us, because the generation before us is some still living. But the generation before that, I don't think they got to see as many tragedies, world tragedies, and local tragedies as we have gotten to witness in our lifetime. This is what's been going on here recently, and even starting from like the Oklahoma City bombing.
1993, yeah.
I remember that more vividly because I had a friend who was involved in that.
I remember that one also when it was when that happened.
I wouldn't have remembered because I was born that year, so I was just a baby then, so I wouldn't have any memories on that.
My one of my best friends at the time was military, and he got to help put up the monument because he was there. He was helping with the cleanup and rescuing people, but I was with him when he got to put the little shoes. They had bronzed the baby shoes they found. And of course, I know the backstory. I know the story of the baby that it came off of, but I won't put that out here because that's not, when you visit the monument, that's not what we need to see.
I can still clearly see the video of one of the firemen carrying
The baby,
little baby.
yep.
Because that same clip was also in one of the Garth Brooks music videos.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it wasn't that baby.
And somebody had gotten a still picture of that I think might have become picture of the year or one of the pictures of the year.
It's at the monument. That one is also at the monument. But, that was my first main event that I remember. But look how many there's been since. When we were younger, even before, I don't know, Nick, maybe you had heard of it a little more, but when we were younger, school shootings was not a thing. Like, you never heard of it. It didn't happen. Now, yes, the one here in Colorado, I remember first, Columbine. But, now you're looking every day to see where it happened.
I know.
Because it is happening.
Yeah.
Too frequent.
Our world.
Where did we go wrong?
Our world's different.
It is. It really is.
And you really have to pay attention to all your relationships because you don't know. It's not going to be their fault, usually, but you don't know when the last time you're going to talk to them is going to be, because this world is crazy. I mean, absolutely nuts. It could happen to any one of us at any point in time with no fault of our own. Segue into that little lady, which I didn't find out about until Jeremy told me about it, because as we all know, I scroll Facebook and it wasn't there. And
which
the
one?
Lady on the Bus.
Oh, yeah. That one was super disturbing.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that brings home, it could be any of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to point this out because this is something that's not very well known involving 9/11. I mean, this is going to partially sound unrelated, but I'm going to go right back to it. Is that day there was a band that from the UK that had just released an album. It happened to be released on September 11th. It was a band. It's not a very well known band. It was called Snow Pony, and they were an indie rock band. They don't perform anymore. They ended in 2003, but they were one of their last albums they made. And get this, I mean, it's going to sound crazy, but again, I think honestly it was just a coincidence that this happened. One of their final albums that they put out the recording themselves. Get this, under the name Deadpan Alley on September 11th. So
Yeah,
I think,
I don't know. I still think what was it? Green Day
no, it
that put
wasn't
out?
Green. No, it
No, no,
wasn't.
no. This
No,
is
Uh,
an
no, this was done by a band called Snow
Thank-
Pony, and they it was under a moniker called Deadpan Alley. And again, it was
no.
it was just coincidental. It was unexpected because nobody knew this was going to happen, and obviously,
No.
even especially from a band from another country, they had no idea that this was going to happen either.
Is Facebook freezing for anyone else?
Not for me.
it was for me because I was trying to watch your show earlier, and it kept freezing after about 30 seconds. I refreshed the page, froze after 30 seconds. Refreshed the page, did the same thing. So I went from Firefox to Chrome, same damn thing.
Huh.
So
That's
for
No, what I
those
was
of you on Facebook that are watching, go to that link that I just sent. You'll be able to watch the show from there and comment.
stop it, stop
Check
it,
what Tom
stop
just
it.
said. It was very spooky how quiet it was outside when they grounded all planes.
Yeah,
Living so
yeah.
close to O'Hare was very. Again, I don't remember that, but I'm not surprised.
They grounded the planes for two
The,
weeks.
yeah, I don't remember. But let's. I think it was Green Day is what I was talking about. Green Day put out the song "Wake Me Up When September's Over,"
Yeah,
something to that effect.
no, that Wake
That
Me
is,
Up with September.
that
No,
is
that didn't come out until
unrelated.
2004. That was 2004. It came out.
Yeah, yeah.
That song was actually written for the lead singer's father, who died
Yes,
in September.
that's correct.
Well, that seems to hold true right now. It's like wake me up when this shit's over because
Yeah,
this
well,
month has been
especially
shit.
this year. Yeah.
This
You
month has
know,
been shit.
I have to admit, and I'm ashamed to admit this because when I was younger, I used to listen to the. I mean, obviously, I don't listen to them anymore. But looking back now, I kind of see it as an insult. But not the song. Obviously, I'm not talking about that at all. I'm not saying that the least bit. But there was that album. I know they're still making albums to this day, and it's for kids, and it's a terrible series, obviously to begin with. You guys have heard of that music series called Kids Bop, right? You guys remember
Yeah.
hearing of it? That was a long story short, it was a music series that was supposed to be aimed for kids. It's like classic songs, like popular songs of the day, aiming. But of course, it doesn't really make a difference, even if they change. And a lot of them usually sound terrible. And they're still making them to this day after almost 20. In fact, they started making them the same year that 9/11 occurred, 2001. But I remember when one of their later albums they made, they had a cover of Wake Me Up When September Ends. And I didn't listen to it even back then, but I accidentally came across it a few years ago. And when I saw that they had this kids cover of Wake Me Up When September Ends and seen that they changed up the lyrics of the song, it's like, dude, like, what the hell are you guys trying to do? Like, you're not only wrecking the original meaning of the song, but it's like, do you have any idea what that song is supposed to represent from the beginning? Because represents Billy Joel's father who died.
Well,
And
here's the thing: when they do children's songs, sometimes they have to switch it up.
Oh yeah.
well, I know they have to, but it's just that they almost like try to change the entire meaning of the song. But honestly, a lot of critics have said that even if they do that, it's not really going to matter. It's not going to censor the true meaning of what the actual songs are supposed to
Okay,
represent.
so let's use this as an example. Trick or treat, smell my feet. Okay, the original lyric talks about razor blades and all that. they're not going to have kids singing about razor blades.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Ring Around the Rosies and all the rest of those. They're all got terrible meanings. But here's the thing: when people write music, they write the song in their own feelings, right? But when you put it out, it is up for interpretation of whoever is listening to it. And it means something different for everyone. So the real meaning of the song may never come through unless you go and look up the real meaning of the song. That's
Well, and
that's the
like,
beauty of music.
so like, I'm just gonna throw it out like for like, "Wake Me Up When September Ends," because again, in a way, it had because again, it involves Billy's dad who died, from the September 11 attacks. So if you look at the lyrics of it,
From the September 11 attacks.
no, well, no, not the September 11 attacks. I'm just
I was going to say that no,
no,
No, that had nothing to do with
I
that.
got that correct.
he was
I got that incorrect.
when his
Sorry,
father died.
no, sorry about that. I got that wrong. So like the lyrics of that song, like um, oh wait a second, actually they okay, maybe I should have done a comparison because they I was going to present an example of the okay, like my father's come to pass. Okay, I'm gonna have to examine this another time because I thought it
Yeah.
was I
Yeah,
thought it was gonna be different, but from what I'm seeing right now, it's almost like they're the exact same lyrics when in reality it's not. So they I guess
It's interpretation.
yeah,
let's
I guess from what
back
I'm seeing
another
is
time.
they probably just
We would
copied
have
and
a lot of
pasted the
trouble.
original lyrics.
Yep, Tom, that's exactly right. So, Jeremy, you seem to be more familiar than the rest of us. You've gotten to see these stories. Tell
Yes.
us about the young lady.
Okay, her name is
I
Irina.
can't pronounce it.
No, Irina Zaroska. So she and her family escaped Ukraine
We
two,
all know what's going on there.
3 years ago. They escaped from Ukraine, moved to, I don't know if North Carolina was the original place they went to, but that's where they're at now.
Mhm.
She was riding a bus, train. She was riding a train.
Oh, I thought it was a bus. Okay.
No, she was in a train, just sitting, watching her phone. You see the video. This guy behind her just comes up and stabs her 3 times, one in the neck, and then walks off. You see him come up and raising his fists, and then they cut to he knocked her hat off and he starts um, coming around. She's looking up at him, and you can
I
see the fear.
saw that picture.
Yeah, she's looking up at him, and then she faces forward. And next thing you know, she starts
Got me.
bawling in her hands.
Yeah.
Right.
What they're not showing is that she was stabbed right before that, and she realized she was going to die. And there was a video that showed her starting to tip over, and then the video cut, and then there was a still of her laying on the floor in a pool of blood. Meanwhile, there is another video of this guy walking back and forth on the train, waiting to get out, and he's got blood dripping down all over the place. Other people are looking and they're wondering, what the hell is this? There were people that were sitting next to her, um, but because they don't show the actual stabbing, I don't know if they witnessed the stabbing, in that maybe it all happened so fast they didn't have any time to understand what was happening. Because there was a lot of people saying that these people didn't help her, did nothing. Like she her death was indifferent to them. But I don't know, because of them cutting certain things out, if they were even aware of what was happening. If they had, if they were able to process what had happened.
You said she was in the floor, right?
She fell over and went down to the floor.
At that point, you have to realize something is wrong with this young lady,
There,
whether you know she got stabbed or whether you don't.
there was a guy there when she was on the floor.
Okay, so somebody did try to help once she got on the floor.
Well, I don't know if he was trying to help her or what. It was just a still picture. That's the problem, because they only show bits and pieces, which I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because of that, everybody is now under the assumption that nobody cared about this girl. They didn't do anything to help her. And I'm wondering, did it happen so fast that nobody could process it?
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe
Kat Ops
that.
talking about it on her show last night, according to Tom.
Yeah. It's hard for me to believe that there is that little humanity left in a big city. Maybe because the saying "snitches get stitches" or "mind your own business" type thing. Um, but in most places, I just can't. I can't fathom that would happen if you knew somebody needed help. I just maybe it's because I've always been in small towns. Greeley's probably the biggest town I've ever been in, but it doesn't happen here that I know of.
So
That explains it.
yeah,
Cat,
definitely.
Cat was on last night, but she didn't go on Things Network. That's because they couldn't go on because you were on, Nick.
Hmm.
Shoot! I forgot about because I was
Yeah,
tell Kat that I apologize for that. I didn't realize that I forgot she was going on last night.
I didn't
Hey,
know she was going on last night.
whoa,
Jeez, what the hell was that?
That was me. I'm going to download that video so that I can put it up on YouTube.
Nick, here's
Yeah,
what I need you to do. I need you to get on the things page. Okay.
on Facebook
I
or
need
YouTube.
you on Facebook, and I need you to download the show page that has all the times on it of when people normally go on.
I mean,
And I need you to look at that.
I will be honest. I did have it previously, but I need an updated version of it.
There's an updated version on the page. It is
I know.
updated.
Oh God. Well, and again, it's been so long since I've done Nick Files that I lost track of time.
That's why that page is there. That's why it's there so we don't lose track.
I do need to seriously update it. It's been a very long time since that schedule has been updated and put
Well,
out.
as soon as you update it, send it to me because that would be great.
It's on the page. There's no reason to send it. It is there on the page.
It's been over a year since it's been updated, and we've had.
Have we had I think it's been replaced though instead of new times though, right?
Maybe. I don't
So,
know. Hey, let's get back to 9/11.
well, I did have a question involved in that too. I mean, again, and I'm sorry that I keep bringing music into this, but I just can't help but shake. I need to get you guys' opinion on this because I can't seem to shake this off. Um, this occurred a month after 9/11, and I question myself a lot. So again, it's going to sound partially off topic, but it's going to get right back to it. You guys know that about a month after 9/11, on October 11th, you had the song called "Get This Party Started" by Pink. You guys know that song, right?
Yeah.
No.
If you heard it, Adrian, you might know that was released a month after 9/11, and every time that I've heard that song, I mean, it's a great song, don't get me wrong, but I can't help but shake the fact that I get that Pink recorded it probably months in advance and was going to have it released. But would it have, even a month later, would it had still been way too soon to release such a song like that, especially after such a tragedy that was just a month
No,
before?
no, because it takes a long time, at least a year, for people recording, refining, and actually releasing something. And if it correlates with something that happened, they can't pull it. There's no reason for them to pull it. They would lose money. The other side to that is everybody should be able to, even if it was correlated with that, people should not have to tiptoe around other people's opinions. If if you don't like something, there's this button called mute, delete, shut off, all kinds of buttons. So, I think that's something that we need to stop thinking about. Oh, this is this and this is that, unless you're being mean, hateful, and disgusting.
Well,
You
you know,
should
I
be able
just
to politically say your opinion.
it's I just decided to look it up because now, like when you go on Google search, sometimes it'll answer questions, and I just looked up saying was Pink's song "Get This Party Started" released too soon after 9/11, and the answer I got was while some might have considered Pink's song insensitive in the wake of the 9/11 attacks, surprisingly, its release was, for many others, a welcome distraction and a source of hope. The single was actually October. I thought it was
I
October
can't
11th.
remember.
It was
Okay,
October.
so I need to ask this about the song. Is there any connection to 9/11? Any at all?
No, but I mean, they said like part of the answer to. I mean, it was actually released on October 16th. I thought it was October 11th of 2001. But they do say here on the answer that instead of being seen as too soon, the song became a massive international hit that met a need for optimism and normalcy during a time of national grief. And following the, I'm not going to read everything because it's too much. So the only other thing I'm going to read here is following the attacks, many Americans were searching for an escape from the overwhelming feelings of fear and sadness. The high energy, defiant tone of "Get This Party Started" offered a moment of pop music escapism that helped kickstart a grieving country. And the song also became a symbol of resilience, suggesting that life and even joy can go on despite the tragedy.
But again, I'm asking what does the song have to do with 9/11?
Well, no, I'm not saying that it has anything to do with it. It's just that it was released, for such a song that was like so positive, that was supposed to be party themed. I couldn't help but think to myself, thinking, with a song like that, I mean, until Adrian answered my question, I thought, wouldn't it have been just far too soon to have a song like that released at a time when people were still grieving? So it's not that there was any connection. It was just more of, was this still kind of just a too soon moment to have such a song like that released?
No.
Well, and Adrian just answered my question too. So, I mean, I was just, that's why I wanted to get you guys' opinion on it.
Music in 2001. Okay, so let's see. Uh, okay, here we go. So September, a lot of albums were released September. A lot of albums released all that month, all that next month.
Hey, Jan,
Let's look at
that,
songs. Uh, okay, they don't have any. Oh, that's damn. Would have been nice if they had a list of when songs were released.
Well, I told you about that one album by Snow. I told you about that one album, Snow Pony. They released Deadpan Alley that day.
Deadpan Alley.
It's that's the moniker. That's not the actual name song.
Wait, is that the album song or the name of the band?
No, the name of the band is Snow Pony. Their moniker album, it was called Deadpan Alley.
I'm not seeing.
Like I said, it's not a very well known band, so you're probably not going to see very much on that.
I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, they were an indie rock, so they weren't that big.
So no,
Okay.
the song that came after 9/11, I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was the one by Alan Jackson. Where were you when the world stopped turning?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
That
Yep,
to me, that is probably one of the greatest songs ever made.
it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
And
It is.
I know. Go on, Adrian. I'm sorry.
No, that's all I was saying.
Oh,
That's-
what I was going to say, believe it or not, I know this is. Please correct me if you think this is because you guys, I have that song, and I know it's not at all under intentionally. Like I have a you guys know I have a patriotic music list. I mean, most of it's supposed to be associated with 4th of July. But believe it or not, I still decided to bring that because it was just such a good song. But even if it doesn't have anything to do with 4th of July, in this case, with 9/11 attacks, I listened to that song in particular for remembrances like 9/11 because I think it's appropriate to still have in one way or another.
Mhm.
But I agree, Jeremy. It's definitely one of the very best. And normally, I'm not a huge fan of country, but that is a great song.
You should listen to his other country song, "Midnight in Montgomery." It's a Halloween song.
Oh,
Kind
okay.
of. It wasn't meant to be, but yeah.
It wasn't meant to be, but it for me is one of my staples. Anyway, back to the girl.
Oh, yes.
So somehow she just instinctively knew she was dead. Um, but what got me was when she was all huddled up there, put her face in her hands. There was no blood coming out anywhere that I could see.
I saw drips on her
Oh,
pants.
sorry.
That's all I saw.
Yeah,
Was
I
like
saw
little
something
drips.
on her pants, but I didn't know if that was blood or not.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Um, she was only 23 years old.
Remember when?
She had her whole life ahead of her. They had gotten away from literal hell, and instead of being able to have a good life in America, her parents get to bury her
Yep.
because this guy had apparently been arrested some 40 times. Um, and dad heard this somewhere, but somebody was reporting that day he was heard going around saying, "I'm going to go kill me a white bitch."
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what he heard. And when people say that to somebody or overhear it, how do you not alert the police?
you know, I can understand both sides of that because maybe he talked crap all the time, and was just that way. You don't want to assume your child's going to do something like that, but in the same token, you want to pay attention. But here's the thing, and Jan and I talk about this a lot. The mental health system is so broken that if they were to call, If his dad were to call the police, he didn't threaten a specific person. He didn't do anything. They're not going to do anything. They're just not. What'd you see?
I just saw the actual thing.
Like the
The
actual stabbing or
whole
what?
video is out.
Yeah. Okay, he undoes the knife.
A Marine vet. Wow.
Across the throat twice.
So when she had her head in her hands, that was covering her throat.
No. No, it just happened so quick. Okay. Wow. It happened so quick. He got her 3 times in a second.
Oh my God.
He
I
was,
just don't think I could watch that.
I don't think I could either.
I didn't know it was out there. I won't look for it.
it
But
it's on Wikipedia.
yeah, I won't look for it. I accidentally ran into the other one we're going to talk about, and I wish I would.
Yeah, I've seen that one yesterday too. That one was
I wish I'd have never.
bad.
It
So
was on TikTok.
he goes across her throat twice, and then it looked like he gets her on the side of the head, but I didn't see anything. She's looking up at him after he had done that, so she's already dying.
Oh my God.
Um,
You know,
Head
you can't.
in hands, and then she just faded and fell.
Unreal.
You know,
Wow.
I can't help but think about those type of stabs towards her, knowing that Jeremy said it. She was slit at the throat too, or
That's what it looked like. He
okay.
slit her throat twice.
So just you can't help but imagine just that horrifying situation that she's going through, and knowing just the excruciating pain and feel, especially once your throat has been cut.
At this point, I think her body was in such a shock
Yeah.
because it happened so quick. Yeah, she
Well,
probably didn't feel the pain.
well, she probably
Yeah.
didn't, but if your throat is cut, obviously you're not going to be able to breathe very
Your
well.
body goes into shock, and it depends on how deep. I mean,
Well,
that's a
yeah,
whole
yeah.
different.
Well,
That's a
what I
whole
mean.
different
Like,
deal.
well, that's what I mean is that even if she was in shock, it's not going to ignore the fact that your throat has been cut because you can't breathe anymore.
That's a whole different scenario. But here's the thing: where used to things like this were rare. Did they catch the person that did this
Yes.
alive?
I think so. Let me see.
Braxton, I agree.
Yeah.
This should never be. None of this should be a color issue, a political issue. It's plain fucking evil. No
Well,
matter
This
where you're at.
definitely appears to be racial motivated because it says here after the attack, he said, "I got that white girl. I got that white girl."
Yeah, yeah, but obviously he was mentally ill. I
Yeah.
mean, people don't go around doing shit like that when they're not.
Yeah, really.
Not an excuse. Absolutely not. But when and where in this world?
But it does
Did we
appear like
decide?
they have him. And get this, somebody actually opened a GoFundMe for his defense.
Like I
He
said,
has no defense. He's caught right there on camera.
Yeah, and his face is showing too.
but here's what's wrong with this world right now. I don't care what you use as religion. You believe in God. You believe in a gold light. I don't care. But there is not a religion except for one that I can think of that condones any of this bullshit. How did we become? I couldn't even go to sleep last night. Where in the fuck did we come up in this world that this is okay? That murder's okay of any kind, of any sort? Where did we come up with the idea that it's our job? I don't care who you believe in or what you believe in. How is it our job to decide who lives and who dies?
Something
Like,
happened. Um, Now, I'm actually going to use this as an example, and I wonder if maybe this particular thing kind of really branched out. So, Robert Kennedy Jr. He's on this crusade
Oh,
about eliminating certain things in foods. And through studies, they have determined that something happened back in 1989 that started this whole thing. And it's all in food. And it makes me wonder if this same thing may have been a catalyst that led to other things happening, like towards mental illness and other things that lead to this kind of shit that's happening now.
I mean, yeah, that's very possible because I do know when we had our autistic child, they did say that,
That's what it is. That's what it is. Autism. That's what it is. Not food. Autism. I,
yeah.
I can't even believe
well,
I.
no, this links back to food. They did say that a certain, Jan helped me, um, was it red dye number 4? Anyway, he was not to have it because it will trigger shit. And it triggered it's not just in autistic children. This will trigger stuff in people. And this isn't the only one. There's others. But the things they put in
I
food,
want for you. See,
the,
see,
the things they put in food
yeah.
now are meant to either kill us.
See these hearts?
Uh-huh.
These are tattooed, and this tag right here is all red.
Uh-huh.
They were bright red when I first got them, and there was a specific kind of dye in that red that I was allergic to that caused, like, they were blistered and bubbled itched like crazy. It took me 2 years for that shit to go down, and I don't feel that again. Yeah, I had it. I had it on this. I had it. Well, I can't. It's hard to. This right here,
Oh, yeah.
and then the red in my leg.
I don't think I have any. Yeah, I have orange. I don't have red.
The orange won't bother you. It's the red. Some kind of dye in it, and I hear this more. The I the last dog that I had was allergic to red dye. It was either number 4 or number 2. So we had to
Yeah,
get
and that's, I can't remember. Yeah.
yeah, because we had to get a specific kind of dog food for him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he broke out in real bad rashes on his belly,
Yeah.
just all over.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's, I'm convinced, and you can call me a conspiracy theorist, Zach does. That's okay. We have our different beliefs. But I'm convinced that there is a conspiracy where we have a lot of cures, but we're not allowed to cure things because then pharma would be out of business. And the things that they put in our food, and if you're paying attention, which it just happens to come across my stuff, I look at it and I move on. But there is a lot going on with food being poisoned right now. The E. coli outbreaks are through the roof. The salmonella outbreaks are through the roof. The recalls, which the recalls have went through the roof because some of them are like undisclosed milk product in this food, undisclosed, something that is edible but people are allergic to. Things people were not allergic to a long time ago. We're not going to get into any of the specifics of it, but there is so much that is killing us now that's in our food.
Yes. Here it is. Her assailant was arrested upon exiting the train and charged with first-degree murder. Now, I heard that the United States Attorney General was going to charge him with a federal crime,
Okay.
which means that if that's what they do, they can seek the death penalty for this.
And where did this occur again? I'm sorry.
This occurred in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. Well,
But
that makes
Charlotte,
also more.
it's a big
and-
city.
Well, not only that,
And
too. I
it-
mean,
it-
not,
oh no, this happened more than a week ago. This happened on August 22nd.
Okay, I was thinking it was
well, and
earlier.
knowing,
Well, I just found out about it over the weekend, so that's why I thought it just happened.
Yeah. I remember, like, they had set a date, but I unless it's a weekend, I cannot really look and see what really happened. Um, it's awful. We're turning against. Well, we're turning against everything that acceptance and just acceptance is gone. Which leads us to
Well,
Charlie.
before we get to Charlie, I want to at least briefly mention the other two because Charlie's going to take up another big conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one I had just found out before the show, so I haven't had a chance to do any research on it. But I heard that there was a beheading. Uh, I think it was yesterday in a hotel in Dallas. That's all I found out. I had not had a chance to research this, but just that somebody was beheaded. I don't even know if it was a man or a woman.
It was a man.
yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't know myself because I didn't know anything about this until you brought it up.
Victim
earlier.
identified,
Did not
subject
know that
charged.
right before we got on here.
That's what I mean. I didn't know anything about it until you said it right before we got started.
Yeah.
It was an old East Dallas. And it happened outside the building.
Oh boy. Which means a lot of people probably saw it, especially if it was even in East Dallas.
Yeah. Happened around 9:30 a.m. a.m. At the Downtown Suites Motel, located just off Interstate 30. Images from Sky 4 showed crime scene tape. Okay. Suspect in custody, charges pending.
Okay.
But there was also crime scene tape at Bear Mart Express just down the street.
Yeah, Chris, there was a beheading that occurred. He doesn't know about what happened.
I didn't either until today. Don't
Yeah.
worry. I'm just now
Yeah,
looking it up.
no,
Jeez.
it's
Victim.
amazing.
The victim was a female.
Like the
Identified
victim
as
was it?
Chandra Nagamalaya, 50 years old.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of it right now. That's just
It's
like, that's
amazing the
horrible.
amount of stuff that's happening around the world that we aren't even aware of.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I'm just going to say that, especially involving this beheading, yes, like you just mentioned, Jeremy, so much like this happens around the world. And like, all these, like, you guys know all too, like over here, it's like all about shootings and stuff like that. You just don't really hear too much, especially not anymore, maybe like 100 years ago, but you just don't hear anything about beheadings as like,
There was a beheading, I want to say about 10 years ago in Colorado.
You know,
well, I mean, if it was like
I
involved,
don't
like,
know.
Because this happened right after that slew of beheadings that they did over in the Middle East.
well, I know they did that happen in the Middle East, and I understood if it was like also involving gangs like MS-13, for example, because they're notorious for beheadings, attacks. They don't just
Yeah.
shoot people; they use machetes. But just somebody out there just going around with a machete and beheading someone for really no particular reason, it's just so out of the ordinary. Like it's just something you just don't hear.
And that's the thing. I have found out here. I don't know about anywhere else. Here, especially in this town, there is so much that you don't hear about unless you know somebody who saw something and is posted on the local page.
Well, that's
Because
how I found out about this. I was scrolling through Facebook and it just popped up as one of the local news things.
yeah,
Um, but Facebook has this really annoying thing of refreshing itself, at least on the PC.
oh my god,
Jeez.
Okay, I hadn't heard about that one.
oh my
Well,
god,
I could think of another one. This occurred almost 10 years ago, back in 2016, of a guy like he had to have been at least in his early 20s at least, and he shot his parent. I think it was his parents or grandparents. I don't. It was some family members. He shot his parents, but this guy took it one step further. This was not just like a simple shooting because it happened in a suburb area. I don't remember exactly where it was. But of course, because the houses are so close, somebody heard the gunshots. So they called the police. And when they found him, they found him with his parents, like his parents' dead bodies in the garage. Obviously, they were long dead at this point. But this was just horrific. He was apparently eating some of their remains, cannibalizing them.
wow.
Exactly
I
why he was cannibal, like why he was cannibalizing them, I have no idea. It's been several years since I saw the article, but it was just like, my God, that is just sick.
I I I really have no words. The whole thing is we have become, well, for whatever reason, whether it's, and I'm not going to say the word because then we're going to get in trouble, but whether it's medications, whether it's the dyes, whether it's the sprays they're putting in the air on the crops and the field, I don't know what they're putting in the food, or whether it's become accepted somehow, somewhere. This, everything's changed in my lifetime. Everything has changed,
Yeah.
and not for the better at all.
We have gone through some of the worst tragedies that ever. Um, We had Oklahoma City. We had 9/11.
Yep. And
Um,
of course, like we mentioned earlier about all these, of course, we mentioned earlier about like all these school shootings and stuff. You
and
know,
speaking of school shootings, there's the one in Colorado from yesterday.
that's correct. Well, I'm just going to throw this out real quick. I'm not sure if I ever told you guys about this before, but because of all this violence that's been going on, I would say probably about 10 years ago, I wanted to make a film series of my own. Not that paranormal series that I was trying to put together. It was a different franchise. And excuse me, it was a different series. And my series was, again, keeping it real short. Jeremy, I mean, you guys know, obviously, I love horror movies, especially the very gory, very splatter type films. And I wanted to make my own films involved in that genre, splatter films, like very graphic, very gory films. And they were, like it would be slasher movies and that kind of stuff. And it was something I really wanted to do. But honestly, with everything that's been going on, with all these shootings, with all these terrorist attacks and stuff like that, it's unfortunate for me to say, but I had to back away and abandon a lot of those projects because to me it was, again, kind of like one of those too soon kind of moments. But also, as I heard also from someone once said this, but it got to a point where it was like what was going on around the world around us. They basically put a far more bloodier performance than what any of my films could produce. In other words, I've been beaten by reality. I just cannot compete with today's violent society.
We don't want to. That's not something we want to do. And I think that is part of the downfall as well. And Jan, while you were talking about the programming, explain a little bit about what you're talking about. Um,
I think she's talking about how, well, in my,
well, she says things so eloquently. I want her to explain that.
I think it has something to do with subliminal messages.
Yeah, I just want her to tell me because she says things, well, in a way that I can't. But and that's why we compliment each other. But we don't want to become so used to this. And when they remember, I know you don't because we've talked about this before, but rotten.com,
Oh yeah, yeah. You were talking about that a long time ago.
Faces of Death.
Oh,
Okay, here we go. Evergreen.
That's something, before that, we were not so numb to seeing things like that. And now we really are,
no,
unless we are witnessing it right in front of us. We're numb to seeing it. And that's scary.
it is. It really is.
With the video games being so vivid when you shoot somebody
There,
or whatever in a video game, they are almost as vivid as if you did it in real life. So people are
there,
going to have a hard time
there,
disassociating.
there have been numerous video games implicated in certain shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Books that have been implicated in shootings.
Music.
Books.
Well, yeah, and I'm saying music too.
Oh, music. Yeah. How they're able to get away with certain songs these days, I don't get
I
it.
know, and a lot of the music today kind of replicates a lot of it's amazing to me. Like for example, when you have like those community groups out there. I mean, obviously, Chicago's no exception, where they have all these groups that are trying to control and deter gang violence and shootings and all this other violent type of crimes, when at the same exact time they're making music, especially involving the hip hop and rap music, like encouraging it, like completely
Well,
the
with music, it was very big in the East Coast, West Coast.
yes,
Um, and some of that had gotten some of these rappers killed.
Well,
Uh,
and there's
Tupac.
yep. Well, and there's even I can even throw this out as an example. There was again, keeping it real short, there's a very powerful prison gang that's called Nuestra Familia. They're or Spanish for our family. They are the primary rivals of the more notorious Mexican mafia down in California. And in the late 1990s, they got this unexpected popularity through this rap album that they made, and it was a shocking album even back then to begin with, because before that, the Western Familia not really wanted that much publicity. But here they were right out front. And all their music that they have is talking about, because these two gangs, the Western Familia and Mexican Mafia, they represent Northern and Southern California. The Western Familia has the north side, Mexican Mafia has the south side. And every song on that album contained lyrics that told young Northern Hispanic kids to shoot and kill as many young Southern Hispanic kids. And if you were to do this, you were doing the work of the organization, the Nuestra Familia. And supposedly there was even a number that was attached to the album that you could actually contact a member of that gang.
And how do producers and executives and record labels allow this stuff to be put out?
I don't know, but like police officers that would arrest kids from that time, especially when that album was huge, every time that they would, pull up towards a lot of the Northern Hispanic kids, they would either have it playing in their car, they would have a poster of it, or basically just have the CD itself in general. I mean, it was absolutely everywhere. And I just don't know how something like that could be popular with a lot of these kids. I mean, it was like, it's a real nightmare for the most part. Yeah, like what Braxton just put out, MS-13, Florencia's 13, the Avenues. They're known as Sureños, which is Southern for Spanish for Southerners, while the Northern Hispanic kids, they're known as Norteños. And the Norteños, they were again Norteños, Sureños, Mexican Mafia, and Nuestra Familia. Yeah,
Okay.
money's
Uh,
thing.
so freedom of speech. Um, there has to be a limit.
There
There
does.
has to
And
be a line.
there also has to be a change in, like,
You can't just go out and say anything.
well, I mean, that is the beauty of America. Yes, you can. But I'm seeing something right now with Jem being on. I think that she's going to be able to put a different aspect on this, and I hope so, because I'm so sick of seeing this meme going around. So let's get into Charlie.
Get in. Okay.
Yes, yeah, we still haven't
One
talked
last
about
thing I
that.
do want to say about the school shooting. Apparently, no kids were killed.
Yeah, I
Only,
knew they were injured.
Except the shooter.
only,
Except the
Shooter,
shooter.
yeah, he
yeah.
shot himself.
So, no students were lost in that one, um, which is kind of rare, I
It
guess.
is rare. I mean,
I
those,
really wish the shooter had not been lost in that one,
you know,
because no, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's where I'm gonna leave
I'm
that
just gonna say too. I mean, the three kids that were injured. I mean, no doubt they were very lucky. Like even those that were injured were very lucky, because you don't really come across a school shooting like that without having some type of fatalities whatsoever. Like even if it did not include the shooter themselves. So that's kind of a relatively rare case, like you said, Jeremy, where they all survived.
Yeah.
one. Okay, so
Let's
I'm
get,
gonna start this.
let's get
Go
into
ahead.
Charlie.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna start this on Charlie. The reason I'm gonna do this is because my best friend, my other half, we disagree on politics. I'll be straight out with that.
Oh, we've known that.
Yeah, we know that.
But
We definitely know
but
that.
here's the thing. I understand when she talks and says, this is why this, it makes sense and I understand. We don't we don't hate over bullshit. And this is what the rest of the world needs to understand. Like something I asked yesterday, her answer was, you're not going to like my answer. I didn't press because I knew she was right. But I also value her views. So while she's here, I would really like her input and clarification because she followed this man. She knows who he was. She knows the meaning behind his words. What I know about the man is not the same as what somebody actually followed him. The video I saw was where he had said he wanted women barefoot and pregnant, and that's where they belonged. I find that hard to believe.
Is this something that he actually did say, or could this have been an AI video? Because there's a lot of people making AI videos, making it
That
look like certain people are saying certain things.
that's exactly why I want her opinion on this. Here's the thing. I do know that he had a very opinionated opinion on some of this stuff. But here's the thing. His wife had 2 doctorates. His wife, with the 2 children, was a beautiful, is a
She was,
beautiful, smart woman.
she was actually Miss Arizona in 2012.
So here's the first thing I'm going to say is in no realm reality that I live in, is it okay to hurt somebody, let alone kill somebody for their views? We have this button called power. We have this button called block. We don't have to listen to someone else's views if we don't want to. There is no reason to hurt somebody. And I saw a little post yesterday that made a lot of sense to me. They didn't silence him. They ended his life. Whoever. They didn't silence him. They made his voice louder because what he was saying was obviously against what somebody thought, and they knew people were listening. Now, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with his opinion. What I am saying is they, whatever cause they thought they were silencing, they did not. I That's my opinion on the thing. I just don't understand why somebody would kill someone. I can't, and I don't. Unless they're coming at you and your life is in danger and it's you or them. Okay.
At that point, you've got no choice.
Right.
Yeah.
He was sitting, and if you look at the video, and I really wish I hadn't, but if you look at the video, you could see the sparkle in his eyes. He was very passionate about what he was doing. He
Oh,
was
you saw a real up close video then.
I did, and I wish I hadn't, but
There were
I
two
did.
videos that I saw. One that seemed like it was from somebody way up, and the other video looked like it was about maybe 3 rows from him.
No, no. I saw front row, and it's something you don't forget.
No,
No.
I'm sure
You
not.
just don't forget it. I saw front row, and I saw every bit of it.
I saw. I heard the shot. he reached up here, then I saw everything just coming out like a faucet out of the other end.
I saw a different angle, and just don't look anymore. Just don't look and see anymore.
Well, there was another video that I chose not to see, and that was from the side.
Don't, don't.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
did not
I
want.
it played over and over and over and over in my head, and I was one of our routines. We go to bed. I'm scrolling Facebook. I probably unfriended 10 people in a matter of about 5 minutes
Wow.
because I was seeing memes. I was seeing nasty comments. I just have no time for evil. I can't. Did I agree with his views? Not some of them, but I only saw a couple of videos before this.
I had seen some videos of him doing debates with college students.
Oh yeah, yeah, and those were the ones I
Well,
saw were respectful.
yeah.
They were.
Well, I see. I seen a couple of his, and then I also seen a couple of Ben Shapiro's. Um, and I don't remember which one it was, but this female student, she got real nasty with him and said something about I hope your daughter gets away from you. Yeah, I don't remember which one of those two she said that to.
Oh, I don't.
But it was a totally unprovoked comment. But
Here's here's
if
the huge
Charlie is
thing.
like anybody else, then there would have been some views of his that I would agree with, and some views that I didn't agree with.
Yeah,
Sure,
that was the
sure.
same
But
thing with
everybody.
it's the
I
same thing with
watched.
us too. That's how we kind of viewed. There were some things we didn't agree with, but there were some others that But my mom even made this perfectly clear to me yesterday. She said to me that even if we didn't completely agree with, even if we didn't agree at all with anything that he spoke about, we still as hell did not believe that he deserved to die. Absolutely not.
No,
And
he
no,
did not. But the way that he was killed was the most brutal I had seen since JFK.
Yeah,
That
it's also hard,
was
it's also hard for me.
here's there was only two videos I've ever watched of his. One was long before this, and he talked about women should stay in the kitchen and stay home and not work and whatever. Did I agree with that? Absolutely not.
but
I'm
there
a
are some guys that do have that belief.
sure.
Um,
I was married to one. Well, I was married to the opposite. He thought I should
one,
work while he sat on his fucking ass. But
one of them, I think we actually had this conversation, but one of them actually said that that is a traditional wife,
right, right.
and I remember saying tradition has gone out the window a long time ago.
Yep.
Depends on whose tradition, honestly.
Well, traditional wife, what this guy was saying was stay at home, you know, wearing a dress all the time, looking all real pretty, dusting and sweeping and everything all day long, and then having supper hot and ready for when he came home, and then afterwards, fetch him this or that.
Yeah, yeah. So in some families that works, and that's great. That's great that it does. Other families, there is a injury where the husband cannot do that. Luckily, we are now in a society where the woman can work and pick up the slack. I'm thankful for that. We don't have to whore
And
because that's what it used to
breadwinner.
be. Yeah, that's what it used to be. You had to be a whore, or your husband's family had to take you in. That was your two choices because you had no other.
Is your laptop charged, Nick?
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I saw it was getting low, so I plugged it in.
So one of the things that they're taking, I'm sure, out of context, and I really want Jan, because she did follow him, I think she might know a little more context behind this. One of the things that they're using against him at this point, and I'm going to make it perfectly clear, I don't care what they're using against him. Death was never. We all have a right to say what we feel. We all have a right to our own religion, no matter what it is. We all have a right to live. People may not agree with our religion, and that's okay. That is part of America. That's the beauty of America. It doesn't matter whether somebody agrees with you or not. They can walk away. Walk the fuck away. But one thing that they're making, and I'm asking your opinion, Jan, because I don't know the back end of this. What they're saying is that one of the things that he said, one of his quotes, was that he said, empathy was made up. It's a new age term, and he hates the word empathy.
I saw something about that, and yeah, a lot of people are, even people that I respect, they say that they have no empathy for him. But here's the thing: you cannot look at that video and not feel something, because nobody deserves that.
No.
You can't know that there's a death that was not wanted and not have empathy if you are halfway human. I mean, I know people. I don't know, Jan. That's all I know. And that's why I'm asking. I don't know. That's all I'm seeing.
Let's see if I can find it. I'm on his Wikipedia page, and they got a lot of things on here about his stance on, like, gay rights and abortion, gun rights, race.
You know, I don't care if he said purple people are the only people that should be on this earth. We as humans had no right to choose who lives and who dies. And I don't care what religion you are. That is very clear in the Bible. Humans have no right to say who lives and who dies. It's not that different in other religions. Well, except maybe a couple. But most religions, you just don't have that right. As a person, you don't have that right. And I don't believe you have that right to say what anybody can say or do. You have the right to walk away if you don't like it. That's all you have the right to do. That's it. And say your own opinion. That's all.
The worst thing
Okay, thank
about
you. That makes a little more sense. Thank you.
the worst thing about this whole situation was that his wife and two children were right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's even worse.
His wife now has to go through the rest of her life with that image in her head.
Same with the kids.
Well, maybe not. The,
Hopefully not.
the oldest child is 3 years old.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
And
So
I can tell you, you know, I don't care if it's the man I hated the most in this world. And there is one. I was married to him. I would never, ever wish that on him. Even though he has done things that are so bad to my children.
three. and one.
that are so bad to society. That's not my place. That's not up to me. I can't imagine somebody thinking this, okay, and I can't imagine his wife what she's going through right now, because I couldn't. I wish I would have never run across that video, but I did. And I still see it over and over and over. Something is wrong. I mean, obviously.
This was the first stop of a tour that he was just starting. Um, and there was actually a petition started at the school, at this college, to stop him from doing this. Um, and then Dad told me that there was no security at this event except
Wrong.
for his own people.
And did you see what they were saying about his own people? Did you see that? I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory. I don't know if it's true. We'll find out
What's
sooner
that?
or later. There was a video that showed the security guard that was behind him and to the left, to his right, kept looking at his watch. Looking at his watch.
Is this a guy with the white cap and doing like a hand signal thing?
I think he was bald, maybe. I'm not for sure. I was watching it during work, but he kept looking at his watch. And he was way far away from him, further than he should have been. And looked disinterested in anything. He was looking around, looking at his watch, like he was waiting for a signal. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. This is just what was pointed out.
There was an older guy, bald, who was arrested,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
thinking that he was that's the
Mm-hmm.
one I was telling you,
Mm-hmm.
that they had somebody,
Yep.
and then after that they released him.
Yep. They had another person after that.
Yeah, now they're looking for a young college kid. Um,
I don't think so. I'm just not buying that. This man, this person, I'm not going to say man, this person, there was a video of him running across or her running across the building. Couldn't tell what it was. But for as far away as that was, this person has either practiced a lot and was a hunter, maybe a deer hunter from a distance, or military experience.
he had
I
to
don't know.
know his way around a rifle because that was a very precision shot.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And people are talking about, well, it's military. It says we don't know, and that's the thing. People need to stop speculating. We don't know. Do you know how accurate hunters are? Good hunters are pretty damn accurate. But until they find somebody, people need to stop speculating it's this side or military or, a different country, whatever the hell it is. Stop. Just the division in our country that's what they're hoping for. That's
There's a lot of people saying that the second Civil War is going to start because of this.
Yeah, I mean, I've often
and it's
said
possible.
that, I mean, I've often said that a lot. I mean, it's got to a point where country is such a powder keg that everything's so intense that the slightest issue could eventually generate a second civil war. Before you know it, all the groups are going to go up.
And how did we get to this point? Because the day after 9/11, we were as united as a country could be.
Yeah.
No.
And
I
now, 24 years later, it's like we're crumbling apart. And
I don't know.
I don't know.
I do know that I hope I'm not here for too much of the rest of it, because it can't get much worse. It really can't. And if it does, I don't want to be here for it.
Oh yeah, it can get a lot worse than what it is now.
I'm sure
I
it
don't want to
will.
be here for it. This is this is crazy. I wish.
TMZ,
Uh,
TMZ released a video. Apparently, this kid that they're looking for right now was walking towards the university. He's less than a quarter mile from there, and he's walking like he's limping. And it's a suspicion that he might have been walking like he was limping because he had the rifle in his pant leg, where he can't bend his. So I can see that. But
so
right
they
now,
didn't find the rifle on
that's
the
a
roof.
suspicion, huh?
So they didn't find the rifle on the roof.
No, this is before the
Oh,
shooting. Before the shooting, he's walking to the college, and this happened 30. They're saying between 30 and 40 minutes before the shooting.
okay. Okay.
Um, so, so that kind of makes me question that if that would actually be him, because he would have to get past whoever to get up on the roof to do this.
Yeah.
Um, and also, somebody had taken a snapshot of this, and I guess they showed this on TV from facing one of the buildings, and you could see where it looked like somebody is laying down on the roof, very much like what a sniper would have been doing.
You know, it's getting to the point in this world. It's really scary. It's getting to the point where if you're Christian, you're in danger. If you're uh, any color, you're in danger. If you're not Christian, you're in danger.
Yeah,
I mean, like, where does it end? I
it
don't see it end.
doesn't. It doesn't. If you're a Democrat, you're wrong. If you're a Republican, you're wrong. If you're a liberal, you're wrong.
If you're independent, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You need to take a side.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, where does it end at this point? There used to be some sort of respect. I don't know where it went away. At least, maybe if not respect, there was at least some sort of keep your fucking mouth shut. That's gone. Long gone. And I believe everybody should be able to have their opinion and have it heard so that others can make their own decision. When I'm undecided, I go to Jan and I'm like, hey, you know, what do you think about this? And
Is Jan still here? I haven't seen her in a minute.
She
I'm
just
sure she
commented a
is.
few minutes ago.
Oh, 4 minutes
And
ago. Okay.
you know, when she comes back with something with reason, she doesn't just say, yeah, this. She will come back with this because of this, and this is, you know, she'll break it down. And it's like, then that way I can make my own decision.
So with
Why can't it be like that?
Charlie Kirk, it was announced today that he is going to be receiving the Medal of Freedom posthumously. So far this year, only two people have been announced: him and Rudy Giuliani. And if you guys are not familiar with that name, he was the mayor of New York during 9/11.
Yes.
Um, so I started going through this list of those that have received that medal. I did not know this, but Donald Trump awarded Hillary Clinton with it last year. I was completely thrown off by that because
Yeah.
he wanted her in jail.
Last I heard. You know, I I would like to look up the reason.
There has to be a reason.
Oh, sure. But I would like to look at Jesse. I would like to know why. And that's the thing. That's part of our problem. We are not looking beyond what is published. What is published is we're really no different than Russia or anywhere else. It's censored. Period. It is censored. Just like Jan just told us the rest of that quote. That's not what's being put out there. So people just believe it and be done. We we have to look at the truth. We have to dig for the truth. And in this day and age, we have to dig for it. You have to be willing to dig for it. And we're not.
Well, there was somebody. I messaged her because I wanted to do a 13th dimension tomorrow with her on this because she digs and she digs into the craziest
You
thing.
are doing a 13th dimension with her tomorrow, aren't you?
She hasn't responded. No, you're
That's
thinking of Clarissa. That's next week.
yeah.
Clarissa, that's who you.
No,
That's
no,
kind of
no.
who I figured you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I wanted Emily Men's house tomorrow.
Oh, Emily. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted her tomorrow, but she has not responded to my text. So
Did you
Is
see
she
the
still
messages
around?
at least, or did she see the messages at least?
uh, let's see here.
Yeah. Excuse me.
It's not.
Uh, I'm sorry, Braxton. HCBUs. What? What?
Went into lockdown and guarded because of threats made against them over Kirk.
I just sent her another message because I really want to get her on the show tomorrow because I know that she's digging into this stuff. Um, from Biden.
Thanks. Yeah.
That's
Well,
not what.
you're gonna meet Annabelle in a couple of weeks. Good luck, Tom. Have fun.
No, it says here Hillary
Oh,
Clinton
Jesus.
2025.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
forgot about that actually.
So
I have my own opinion on Annabelle, and we're gonna leave that for another.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not saying anything about it.
oh wait a
I
minute.
do want to say one thing. I was sent a message earlier. I'm not going to say from who. I was sent a screenshot earlier, and I'm very, very disappointed in one of the biggest people some of us feel in this field. I let me be clear on the message and not just ad lib it.
Okay, while you're looking that up, no, you guys are right. It is by Joe Biden. He did it right before Trump's inauguration. So that's how Hillary Clinton got the thing. So okay. I was
Okay,
going to say I did not see Trump doing that at all.
I, I'm probably going to get hated for this, but y'all know I don't give two shits. One of the people I respected, I no longer do. Chip Coffee.
Yep. Oh, Chip. Okay. Okay.
I used to respect him. I really did. I loved what he did. I believed in what he did. I don't care what he does anymore because the message he put out and the influence he put out. I'm not going to say who sent me the message. I'm on his page. I could have seen it and I didn't.
I saw it. Somebody had shared it on their own page.
His words. His words. I've had almost 24 hours to wrap my mind around the death of Charlie Kirk. This is what I have concluded. Okay? Thank you, Jen. I love you. Mind you, this is somebody who's influential, right? For all intents and purposes, either people look up to him or they fucking hate him. Either way. Charlie Kirk was a horrible person. He exposed, I'm assuming that's supposed to be exposed, beliefs that were harmful and hurtful to many. He made a multi-million-dollar career out of doing so. And in the end, one disgruntled individual ended Kirk's life. Because of who he was and how he behaved, I feel nothing about his death. If that sounds bad, so be it. It's the truth. If you claim to be a medium, you're also an empath. If you're an empath, a death is going to hit you hard. I don't care how you try not to. A death of an evil person, if you feel somebody is evil, is even going to hit you because it ended a life. That's an empath. There's no way around it. To be a medium, you have to be an empath. This is arguable, I'm sure. To me, that's the case. You cannot feel a spirit's emotions, what they're telling you, what they're showing you, unless you're an empath. The same as I feel if you can hurt an animal, you're not a medium, you're not an empath. Just not. Unless you are putting that animal out of its misery for a reason. I lost all respect for this man.
I had no
Was
idea.
this posted on his personal page or his
It was his
professional
personal.
page? Because I could not find it.
I
It
literally
was
had
on his
no
personal
idea that. I literally had no idea that he said that, and it's just shocking to me because Tom knows this all too well. But we've met Chip a few times in some of the Paracons that we go to, and we got pictures with them. And I was just checking in with, well, not checking in. I mean, of course, I was not the only one when he was talking about that he was in the hospital recently. I don't remember what it was. You know, I was giving
Twice.
It was what?
Twice in this last year, the motherfucker was in the hospital.
Yeah, so like
He
you know,
almost died twice this fucking year. So you're going to tell me you have no empathy for life? You almost fucking died. Do you think that you're that above everything that you're going to go somewhere different and you can just condemn someone else? No. No. That's not how this works.
yeah, it's just like you, Adrian. I used to respect the hell out of him, and like I said, I just commented, give him my thoughts for him. It's like, but now hearing this, it's like, wait a second, that's
I did too. I joked with
Look at
him
what
and I
Tom
said,
just said.
Turn
Look
off
at what Tom
videos.
just said.
Oh God, no! Why am I not surprised?
That motherfucker again that
That
wants
guy
to
just,
connect with just everybody that just passed.
just again. I
If
know,
people would
Jeremy. I know
stop
you.
paying attention to him,
Yeah, yeah, Jeremy. I was gonna say. I know.
That's
I
that's
don't.
just it.
Okay.
People blindly follow him.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
they don't know any better, and
Oh,
they
they do.
actually
They
believe
do.
he's talking to these people.
Yeah, I like.
It's like a train wreck. Like you see a train wreck, you're gonna look. No matter you know you shouldn't look, but you're gonna look.
Yeah, I'm
I
actually surprised I haven't seen anything in my feed about him contacting Charlie. I have not
No,
seen that
I
today.
deleted him so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
I'm just gonna say right now. Yes, Jeremy. I've been
Oh, I'm
following your.
talking about people talking about it.
Yeah.
I've got his page blocked.
Yeah,
Is even because I wasn't following it, but it was still showing up on my feed because he was sponsoring his posts,
Hmm.
boosting his post. So it was showing up on my feed, so I had to block him because I didn't want to see that shit.
Jeremy. I know. Obviously, I've been taking your advice ever since. Not to acknowledge anything, but even when I don't think of anything of it, still deep down, that guy just pisses me the hell off because to me, he is a disgrace.
Here's what we need to look at right at this point in life. Who is important to us in our lives? Their opinions might and probably should differ from ours. The reason for that is because we can have a discussion back and forth and actually come to a realization, hey, maybe part of yours is right, maybe part of mine is right, or wait, I was completely wrong. And if you're man enough, woman enough to admit you have a point, I might have been completely wrong. Let me look at what you're saying. Or even if you don't believe the way the other person does, you can have respect for what that other person believes and know where they're coming from and why they believe that. We've lost that. We have my brother and I, we just got to talking again, have completely, oh my God, completely different beliefs. But like many, he posted, if you believe that this murder bullshit is okay, delete me. I agree. I completely agree. The rest of what he said, I do not agree with. But he's angry and he has a right to voice his opinion of why he's angry. People are blaming the other side. And that's not just one side, that's both sides. Where and why are we not trying to make America one, you know, one human, not 10,000 different, you know, this should be this and this should be that. There should be a middle ground. I don't get it. I never will. And that's okay. I'll consider myself naive, whatever the case might be. I never will. I can see both sides. And that's me to a fault. I can see both sides. And that's why I'm easily like, okay, yeah, I can see this side, I can see this side. It's not a good place to be because you can't really take a side because you can see both sides. It's not a good thing. It is a fault. It's not a good thing. But you know, if we look back on history, this is how we ended ourselves. And we're about to do it again.
This has been going on for millennia.
Yeah.
If we look back at history, they say history repeats itself, and you don't pay attention, you're doomed to the same thing. Well, here we are.
Look at Caesar.
Yep. Here we are.
Hmm?
I
I saw something here that kind of struck me as odd because I hadn't really considered this, but it's out there now. Um, does this make Charlie Kirk a martyr? Because I don't know.
don't either.
It's hard to say.
He was killed for what he believed in. That is indisputable. Um, when
Yes.
I was over at Dad's house for supper, and he had the five on. Ever since the Charlie Kirk thing, he's been watching the political channels, which is understandable. Um, Greg Gutfield, who's one of the regulars on the five, he said the worst thing you can do to kill an idea is to kill the person behind the idea, because when you kill that person, his idea just explodes.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you said
Yeah.
something to that effect, Adrian. Um, Even though he was killed, his voice is now louder.
Yep.
Um, Now that there may be a definition of martyr, I don't know. Um,
Um, Jen, what? What? So,
she's asking me to
okay,
find
we're
something.
going to define this. We're going to define this. A person, martyr, okay? A person who voluntarily suffers death as the penalty of witnessing to and refusing to renounce a religion.
That doesn't
I'll let you have it from there.
that doesn't go with this one here. Um, but
For Charlie, yeah, it does.
I'm talking about willingly going to death. He did not.
He knew it was a possibility. He had to have. He had to have. He wasn't dumb. He saw what went on around him. He had to have.
There was something going around that saying that he was wearing a bulletproof vest. I don't know if that's true or not, but I did see something about that.
Not with that shirt. No. No, you could see his shirt. No way.
I don't know. Um, but apparently Trump had said something about him being a martyr. I don't know what really qualifies this day and age now, because that definition that you just read off was probably a centuries old
No,
definition. And
it's new.
okay,
No, I mean that's the definition. Um, and it also goes on to say a person who sacrifices something of great value, especially life itself, for the sake of principle. A martyr to the cause of freedom.
okay, that would sound more closer to this. Um,
You know, the person who did this, his intention had the opposite effect. It amplified his voice.
yep. Um, I should say that Ben Shapiro was supposed to also have a speaking engagement last night. It got canceled, obviously. Uh, do you think this will end open, like outside events like this?
I hope not. I hope not. But unfortunately, they were even speaking inside the House, the Senate and the House, of how they could amplify security. And they come to the conclusion they can't, because to do their job, they all had to go different directions to speak. And the amount of security that they thought they needed is not possible.
'Cause this is twice now in the last 2 years that this happened. Um, Trump was almost assassinated last year,
Yep.
and then now Charlie was assassinated.
The dude too
And
was also
he was
was also
assassinated.
around my age too. I mean, he was born the same year I was, so he's exactly my age too. And
Yep.
and he was born in Arlington Heights, which is just a few minutes away from me.
We
Yep.
have a problem. I mean, I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what you believe. We have a problem. And if you can't see that, that's a bigger problem.
Well, that's just it. I think everybody does see that there is a problem. They just don't see the same problem.
Yep. Yep. And that's a bigger problem in itself.
Yeah. I will say this. Not necessarily that had they had more security, because this guy eventually would have found his way around it. But if they had had a drone in the air, it might have been able to catch this guy before he pulled that trigger.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many what ifs.
I know. Um, and why they didn't do drones even when they did the thing with Trump last year, because that could have been avoided too. The guy that did get killed would probably still be around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think this is something they need to start doing moving forward. They will probably have outside whatever done for a little while before they start easing back into it. But when they do ease back into it, they have got to utilize drones.
Yeah. Yep. They are here. I mean, we use them. So they're easily accessible. I mean, you can get them at Walmart. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, well, the government can have high specialized drones.
Right. You can get ones at Walmart though.
Yeah.
I I don't know. Something has got to change, and I'm afraid it's not going to. But if it doesn't, we're done. And I hope I don't see it. I really do.
Is Charlie the first non politician to be killed?
I'm not sure.
We really don't know, because the rest of them may not have been as vocal or as publicized as he was.
Okay, Emily just got back with me.
Oh, she
Awesome.
did. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, yeah.
Yep.
Guys, we have went 40 minutes over.
Yeah, I know that. I couldn't help but notice the time. To be honest with you.
We have, but I think a show like this is kind of worth it.
Well, not
Oh,
only
it
that, too.
absolutely is. The thing is, we all need to evaluate,
Yeah, well,
reevaluate, and
Oh,
reevaluate.
well,
okay.
not only that, we also started a bit later than usual. So,
No, we didn't. You
well,
did.
not
It's,
later than usual, but you get what I mean.
it's been about
No,
Sue just said Martin Luther King. So he was not a politician. He was
right,
a civil.
right.
He was an activist, just like Charlie is. So Martin Luther King Jr. was probably the last non-politician, because I know that mayors have been killed. A, Harvey Milk, that guy in Louisiana, he was like a Senate, not a Senate, but something. Um, Presidents,
Yep.
but this is the first time. Well, now I didn't even think about King Jr.
Activists
Huh?
and activists this time.
Well, yeah, I was thinking this is the first one, but I never even thought about Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, we just need to reevaluate, and after reevaluation, do it again. You know, it's we have to stand on what we believe in, and humanity has to be involved in what we're believing in. I just humanity is gone out of the whole equation. We just want to be right. We want to be, it's not okay. It's this is not okay. None of it is okay.
Okay, damn. She can't do it tomorrow, but she did say next week, and I've already got Clarissa next week.
Tell her the week after.
There's always, yeah, there's always the next week after.
Okay, well, I did mention last week that I wasn't going to do a 13th Dimension tonight because there's a wrestling show on tomorrow night. I wasn't sure what time. Now it comes on at 10, so I can do a show if I wanted to. Yeah. Drink some water, Nick.
I'm fine. It was just something stuck in my throat, but I know we're just about to be ending anyway, so I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh,
can I just say one quick, because I just need to get this word out. Do you guys know who David Lowery is? You guys, does that name ring a bell?
I
No.
I'd seen somebody um, sharing a post about it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, never mind. No.
yeah, he is another paranormal investigator. For a couple of years, he actually owned Ashmore Estates. I'm sorry, I've met him a few times in some
Oh,
of the past Paracons,
oh,
but
I thought he was just a caregiver.
I think you're right. You're right. Yeah, he was. I'm sorry, he didn't actually own
Because
the building, but
Terry said that he was the first caregiver after he bought the place.
yeah, he was. He was. Thank you for correcting me on that. But if you guys didn't hear, I'm sorry to say that he passed away earlier today. Yeah,
I didn't know who he was, but I'll look it up.
yeah, he was someone I never got to really have the opportunity of working with him, but he was someone that was a guest speaker at some of these events. He was also full of he was a funny guy too. He had quite the amount of humor, but it was just after when I saw someone. In fact, Dave Wismer knew who he was. So I see a post about it earlier today that he passed out. Like, wait, what? He passed away. He died? What the hell happened?
You
Unfortunately,
just
I don't know
never know.
exactly. I don't know what he died of, unfortunately, but he will definitely be missed. no
I,
doubt.
I did go to his page. He had been having a bunch of health issues over the last while.
Actually, yeah, now that you said that, yeah, I do recall that he had some health issues, but obviously, I don't know exactly which health issue it was that killed him, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was in the hospital for a while.
Yeah, I know he lives somewhere down in central Illinois. I just don't know exactly where, but
Oh,
he was a good guy though. He was great when he was a speaker, but like I said, he will definitely be missed. Another member of our paranormal community gone.
yeah, I had no idea who he was until somebody had shared a thing about it. So I went looking, found his profile, and seen him posting about all these different things. He was in and out of the hospital a lot.
Yep.
So, so
And I saw a lot of that too because I was Facebook friends with him.
so I don't know if his death was totally unexpected.
It's hard to say. I mean, it was unexpected. I mean, maybe I at some point we kind of knew that it was getting close to the end. We just didn't think it was going to be today, and when I saw that, that took me completely by surprise.
It,
Well,
death
even
will.
if it's expected, I mean,
Yeah,
it's never easy.
yeah, it is. But we
Even
definitely will miss them though.
somebody that you know is going to die and you prepare yourself for it, you're never truly prepared for it.
No, you're not. Definitely not.
So,
But like I said, he will be missed definitely.
all right, are you guys ready to put a button on this?
Yeah, I'm ready to go to bed because I had between Nick Files and this show, I have not even really had a break at all. So I'm probably gonna go right to sleep afterwards. In fact, I gotta contact Nikki afterwards, tell her that if we're gonna do a show, it's gonna have to be till next week because I'm just too exhausted.
Oh no, you're gonna break her heart.
What's that?
You're gonna break her heart.
I just watched the video. You're right. It was the guy in the hat.
Oh, it was okay.
The
He
white
was doing this
Jeez.
right before it happened.
Oh man.
Oh boy,
This is
here comes
not.
another conspiracy theory.
Jesus Christ. When are these?
There was no reason for that guy to be doing this
Well,
right before it happened.
okay. To be fair, secured members of security do have their own hand signals.
Well, maybe so,
So
but there's only three of them. They were all right there.
it.
Yep.
My God.
That's what's reported anyway.
Jeez.
Wow. Okay. No, I just saw a picture where somebody was saying this guy was giving hand signals right before the shot was made. So that's why I was asking you. And he was wearing a ball cap.
Yep. That's who it is.
Unbelievable.
I
Well,
just saw a video of it.
I'm
I'm just
sure over the next few days, because everything is still so incredibly fresh. I'm sure over the next few days. Oh,
Yeah, I just got that too.
it just looks so
okay.
No, really.
now, could it be AI? I don't know. I don't know anything with AI anymore because I hate that shit.
Yeah, nobody knows anything now when it comes to AI. It's just like when you look at AI, it's like how do we even know if that's real or not in this day and age?
The only way we do is
In
if
some
there's
videos, you can
stickers.
tell it's AI right away. But others, they just get so good at them. That's why when she was mentioned earlier about Charlie saying certain things, she saw a video of him saying certain things. Okay, now is that actually him, or did somebody make an AI so that they can pass it off as the real thing to continue on this hatred of them.
Yep.
See, it's things like I'm just going to say this. I kind of figured that when AI really started getting into the picture, that this was going to be a cause for a lot of problems, and I was absolutely right on that. I just had that feeling that something was going to go down pretty bad when you use AI.
I ended up stopping that video because I didn't want to see the actual shot. Not from that.
Yeah, yeah.
Was the actual shot in that video?
I don't know. I stopped it before it got there. The
I
guy,
haven't looked at it
I
yet.
don't think it was. It replayed the same thing over and over for me.
okay, because the guy did the hand signal and then he reached down and picked up that microphone, and it was right after he leans up is when he gets shot.
Right. And no, it replayed the same thing over and over.
Okay.
It never played that for me.
Um, one last thing before we go. Two people have released books on Amazon about his killing. Both of them over 100 pages. How in the hell, unless you use AI, do you write a 100-page book in less than 24 hours detailing the aftermath of somebody's killing?
It's really
Unbelievable.
strange, I have to admit.
Yeah. Well, I actually went and reported one of these books saying, "Hey, you need to look into this. Make sure this thing is not AI because he was just killed 24 hours ago,
Yeah,
and
Right.
that's like
already we have a 100-page book about this thing. You need to look into it."
it's
Yeah.
almost like that's once again kind of like I don't know how else to describe it. Kind of like just like a way too soon moment because, like you said, it was just 24 hours after Kirk was
Yeah.
shot.
Well, 24 hours after he was announced dead.
It's funny you
Which,
mentioned that too. It was like when I that's something I forgot to mention earlier on the show was my dad. He has a television out in his work shed that he watches the news from, and I walk up, and that was around the first time I heard thinking, just heard Charlie Kirk just got shot, and then I turn over, and that's when it said that he was announced dead, and I literally like said, he's dead, and my dad's like, wait, he's dead? It's like, yeah, it's shown like right on the news. Like even my dad didn't even know that he was dead until I shot it. I was
well,
like, my
there
God.
was a report
Until I,
saying
I'm sorry, until I said it. Excuse me. Jeez.
there was a report saying that he was stable but critical, and they had him in surgery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then
But
they said he was pronounced dead. He
yeah,
was
but
dead
when
at that
you look
point.
at that video,
There was no surgery.
I don't see how he could have been alive when they got him to the hospital.
Doctors are saying there's no way.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, that's the thing. Minimum 4 hour, 20 48. Not in this case. These two books were. Oh, and one of these books, the date on it is September 9th.
Yeah, that don't work.
No, somebody just put in the wrong date.
Well, Noreen here said, hey, Noreen, said, I'm sure it takes minimum 48 hours for a book to go live on Amazon, so it must have been written prior if it's real.
I
Yeah, see, AI sucks.
I
Yeah,
have
it might be the AI again. I
yeah,
don't know. I
no idea
really don't know.
about this Amazon thing. That's why I'm just trying to stick with trying to find a traditional publisher instead of doing this self-publishing crap. But whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. Let's call it a night. It's almost 11 o'clock. I'm getting tired.
Me too.
Bet I
I've
know.
already been tired.
Yeah. Um, Nikki hasn't said anything about doing a show tonight, and now what do we got? Oh,
I'll
Dan,
just send a I'll just send a voicemail to her right after we get off before I call it a night. And oh, Jan messaged me.
She did me too.
Oh, was this okay? So she must have sent you the same thing then.
Yeah, is about how Kirk wants to be, how he wants to be remembered. Um,
I'll look at it tomorrow.
Anything in the chat, so I doubt you would have to worry about it. Normally, she would have said something by now.
Yeah.
Um, all right,
Well,
guys.
regardless, I'm not even going to look at it right now because again, I just want to get some sleep. I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, well, it's been a really
It can wait till tomorrow. It can.
all right, guys. We're gonna call it a night. We'll see what other shit happens in the world that we can talk about next week.
Did she send you a reel? Because she just sent
Let's
me
hope
something else.
nothing.
Jeremy, did she send you something else? She just sent something else to me.
Who?
Jan.
No, she just sent me this
Yeah,
thing about
just
Charlie Kirk
watch
on
the
how he
reel.
wants to be
Yeah,
remembered.
she sent me a reel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2 reels. Okay.
No, she only sent me. I stand corrected.
As soon as I saw that reaction, you just got it too, didn't you? I was literally about to say you'll probably get it eventually.
Yeah, I did.
That reaction was classic.
Jan. What are we
That's
going to do
funny.
about this?
That
All right,
just
folks.
made my night.
We're gonna call it a night so that Nick can have another one of these nights.
No, I'm calling it a night.
Okay.
I'm exhausted as hell. I did a huge presentation earlier.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for playing along, and have you guys a good night and a safe weekend. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.